The age of the $5 footlong is dead, but we're gonna resuscitate it, paddle shock it back to life for this price. That is but cheaper. So, the footlong, we all love it, right? It's a footlong sandwich. I don't think a footlong is really that common outside of America. Consumption of excess, but don't get me wrong, I love a good footlong sub sandwich. I ain't that special, you know? The rules of a footlong is kind of just its length and it's gotta be a sub sandwich. Anything on the inside goes. So you can't stop me from putting a little roasty chickie in there, now can you? The best part of this sandwich is you can do this with just about any piece of equipment. Making the bread, all you need is an oven and a baking sheet. It's not that hard. You can make it without the stand mixer, because it's by cheaper. So with all that being said, let's make this, shall we? We're bringing back the cheap footlong with homemade bread, deli meat, and a classy list of veggie toppings. Let's make this simple. First off, bread. 1 cup or 250 grams of milk around 95 Fahrenheit, whisk in 2.5 tablespoons or 30 grams of granulated sugar, 2.5 teaspoons or 11 grams of instant yeast, whisk till dissolved, separately in a stand mixer. Stand mixer expensive, Josh. What me do? Don't you worry, sweetheart. Replace the butter in this recipe with vegetable oil and add with the Milkies right here. And that's really it. That's the only difference. Now, if you have a stand mixer, add to the bowl 3 cups or 450 grams of all-purpose flour and 1 teaspoon or 3 grams of fine sea salt. Mix that thoroughly, pop on the spiral thing, start on medium-low, add your mommy Milkies along with 2 whole eggs beaten. Let that mix for 2 to 3 minutes or until you get a nice dough. Add in a 1/4 cup or 56 grams of unsalted butter that's fully softened to room temp and let that mix for 5 more minutes or until incorporated and your dough is smooth and stretchy. Cover with plastic wrap and rise 1 hour at room temp and up to overnight in the fridge. Now, punch your dough down, divide into 6 evenly sized pieces around 140 grams each, roll those into light balls. Roast for 15 minutes, cover with a moist towel, then roll them out into, you guessed it, buddy, foot-long logs. Taper the edges lightly, place on a parchment-lined baking sheet, which I'd recommend doing 3 to a sheet to allow for expansion. Cover that and proof for 30 minutes, then brush with egg wash consisting of 1 egg plus a teaspoon of water beaten together, and optionally, you can top each piece with sesame seeds and grated cheese if you have any, but look, really, it's not necessary, it's more of an aesthetic and a minutia flavor thing. Optionally, score them down the middle, but a 1/4 inch deep, pop those into an oven that's been preheated to 375 Fahrenheit for 17 to 20 minutes, or until you get a beautifully golden brown rod. Now, deli meat. There's many ways to do this. First, in a small bowl, add 1 teaspoon or 1/2 gram of finely chopped fresh rosemary, 2 teaspoons or 7 grams of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon or 2 grams of brown sugar, and 1.5 tablespoons or 8 grams of kosher salt. Whisk until combined, and that's your chicken season. Now, wrestle yourself 3 bone-in, skin-on chicken breasts, about 2 pounds or 900 grams. Hit those with your chicken seasoning, and then at this point, you can choose from many cooking methods. The best way is to cook them via sous vide, but the second best way is to quite literally just roast them. Pop them onto a wire rack or baking sheet, cover with foil, and into an oven preheated to 425 Fahrenheit and roast them for around 25 minutes or just until the internal temp reaches 165 Fahrenheit. Then just chill your breasts completely in the fridge. And if you don't want to wait hours for that, you can pop it in a baggie and into an ice water bath for just a few minutes. Sure, it's not cured, but when you slice it really thin and beautifully like this, well then that's quite literally cold cut chicken. And many times, this is how it's done in the gat dang deli. That's it for the cooking. The rest is all assembly technique. Now, first off, sliced tomato. Slice it as thick or as thin as you like, but please, dear God, season them with salt. Optionally some pepper too. Now, red onion. Slice that bad boy as thinly as you can, ideally on a death trap mandolin if you have one. Then once sliced, cover with a wire rack and rinse under cold water for about 30 seconds. Drain that water and you have the greatest sandwich onions of your life. Iceberg, half a head. Thinly slice it. The thinner the lettuce, the bigger the kiss from Papa. Pop that lettuce into a medium-sized bowl and add 2 tablespoons or 9 grams of olive oil, optionally a pinch of dried oregano, 4 tablespoons or 24 grams of red wine vinegar, and a small pinch of salt and pepper to taste. Toss that all together and you have basically a dressed salad topping. Now, slice a foot-long boy in half, generously mayo your bottom side, and I can't stress this enough. If you don't like mayo, then respectfully, please go sit in timeout for 35 minutes. But if you do, please do it right and go hard on the mayo. Put more than you usually do. Follow that with 2 slices of provolone, torn in half and shingled across to coat the whole bottom half. Follow that with a fat, generous stack of your thinly sliced chicky, your perfect sliced red onion, the dressed iceberg lettuce. Oh, and don't forget to mayo your top half as well, generously. And finally, your beautifully seasoned tomatoes. What else do we do with a prince so perfect? We crown that mother, and by golly, that might just be a king that we happen to be looking at. And for a price anyone would be happy to pay for Papa's foot long. Now, let's taste test. Smells like a cold cut sandwich shop up in here. guess.
A little more lettuce. I like the lettuce.
Wee bit.
Wow.
It's been a while since I've had a legit cold cut sandwich, so maybe it's the delirious aspect of that distance of time, or this is the best dang cold cut sandwiches I've had in a while, and it's a foot long. So the beauty of this sandwich is that a cold cut piece of meat is literally just pre-cooked meat that's been cured and chilled, but sometimes not even cured. You could be saving so much money. This sandwich, for this price, it's an incredible experience. The tomatoes, the lettuce, the acidity, the saltiness, a little bit of sweetness from the tomato. This is like an ideal foot long sandwich, and by golly, I wanna put it in my mouth. But you wanna know what else I wanna put in my mouth? B-roll.